It's an afternoon. We're in Stillwater, but not at the Botanic Garden like we normally could be. We're at a private residence with a beautiful pond, but the homeowner thought maybe there might be some algae problems. So we're here today to talk about algae, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And there's really not too much bad about it. It's just what we think about it. So if you look down here, we've got a deep pool that really looks green, but if you hold that water up in a clear glass, you'd see that it's not. What you're looking at is the depth and the biofilm of algae that's grown all around on the rocks. This pond has a skimmer and it has a waterfall. The waterfall is really beautiful and does not have a hint of string algae that the homeowner was worried about. So she's taken a good care of taking care of that by using a granular algicide. There are lots of different products that can work on algae. We think a more natural approach is the best way. Algae is good for your pond. That's both the good and the bad. Most people think, oh, algae is bad in my pond. I can't see my fish, I can't see the rocks. It's got this ugly stuff growing all over it. I bought these rocks because they're so pretty and I want them to show up. So they get in and scrub off all of the algae and clean it all up and take care of everything, and all of a sudden it turns green again. They can't figure out why. We spend a lot of time talking about the cause of algae. You have to remember that sunlight, water, and nutrient is going to cause something to grow. And that something, in the case of this pond, are some beautiful plants. But in lots of ponds, the problem is algae. Algae is a single cell algae and the string algae that grows. Those are the two most prominent algae in Oklahoma. Be thankful you don't have the one that grows in the ocean that grows for 30 meters a day. Then you really would have a problem to worry about, and I probably couldn't help you with it. But in ponds like this in your backyard, the biggest thing you can do is be patient, and that may be the hardest thing for you to do. We find that many people expect to have a clear pond just like their swimming pool, and you're not going to be able to do that with live things in your pond. With the fish, with the bacteria, with the frogs, maybe snakes, with all the plants that you've got in there, it's an ecosystem. It all has to work together, and that's part of algae. If you think about it, early in the spring, your bacteria colony in your pond is at the very bottom. And so the fish have been asleep all winter long. They've been really slowed down, and they're beginning to release waste because in Oklahoma during February and March, we start to get lots of sunshiny days. They think it's time to wake up and eat. So they release waste. That waste is fertilizer, nutrient in the water. One of the three things that you have to grow algae. You have water, you can't do away with that in your pond. You have sunlight, you're not going to have any coverage on your pond yet from plants because it's too early in the spring. They haven't started growing yet. So now you've got a low bacteria colony, high nutrient count, lots of water, some sunlight. What's going to grow? Algae. So the first algae you're probably going to see is the single cell algae that grows in the water. That's the thing that Mother Nature looks to try to resolve the issue of too much nutrient in the water. Think about it. That nutrient is fish waste. The fish waste is toxic to the fish. So she doesn't want that to harm the fish. She's going to take care of it. And one of the ways to do that is to create a plant that will eat up that nutrient out of the water, keeping the fish safe. So that's one of the biggest problems, is for you to understand that nitrogen cycle. There is a bacteria that grows in nature called Nitrosomonas that changes that nutrient, all of that waste that's growing from the fish, that changes it into less toxic nitrite. Then there's another bacteria that, again, that grows naturally, or you can add it out of a bottle, called Nitrobacter. That bacteria changes the nitrite into nitrate. Nitrate and ammonia from the fish and water is what causes your algae to grow. If you think about that in terms of being patient, then your best option early in the spring is to wait it out. And for your benefit, I think the best way to help it get started good is to remove about 25% of the water, put fresh water in. By doing that, you're diluting the amount of nutrient in the water. Then add beneficial bacteria to help that bacteria colony grow up. Lots of different products out there available with bacteria in them. So you can get powdered bacteria or liquid bacteria. So that's a simple way to start your spring off good, is to give your pond a good cleaning, take out 25% of the water, treat it with some good bacteria, and that will give you a good head start on a great summer living the pond life.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.